Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Bernardston Select Board meeting of Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. It is officially 6:02, so I'll call the meeting to order. This meeting is being broadcast live on BNC TV and live streamed on YouTube. To find BNC TV on YouTube, go to youtube.com and search for Bernardston-Northfield Community Television. This meeting will be available for later viewing by following the link at townofbernardston.org. You can also watch channel 1075 on your Comcast dial in Bernardston. First up is the warrants. I would entertain a motion for the payroll warrant in the amount of $65,801.07.
So moved. Second.
Any discussions, corrections, deletions, additions, you name it?
Nope.
All good. Then I would call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
I would entertain a motion for the vendor warrant in the amount of $76,602.49.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion about that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting minutes. I would entertain a motion for the regular meeting minutes of February 19th, 2025.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion, corrections?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Reason Brian Keir was quiet is because he was absent for that meeting. Calendar and announcements. Family and Community Event Programming Committee. The Town of Bernardston is looking to expand family-friendly, community-based events to strengthen social connections and support resident well-being. Volunteers are needed to stand up, as in start up, a new committee tasked with creating and organizing community events. If you are interested in volunteering, please contact the town administrator at bos@townofbernardston.org or call Karen Kelly at the town administrator at 413-648-5401. The woman that originally...
Yes, she's still involved, Samantha. But she's still
All right, good.
involved. I just don't want to drown her with all the
I get
calls
it.
and stuff
That's
until
very,
we get more official.
Very kind of you. Next up is the Roundhouse Spring Craft Series at Cushman Library. Cushman Library has coordinated, so they're the coordinator, some fun offerings to help conquer the end of winter. Good luck with that. The Greenfield Public Library and the Franklin County Agricultural Society are pleased to announce an exciting array of crafting classes during the month of March. All programs are free and intended to inspire participants to enter their projects in the Roundhouse during the September Franklin County Fair. Due to the popularity of these programs, we ask that you sign up for no more than 2 at a time. Books on each subject will be available for checkout at each class. Pre-registration is now open online and available at the Cushman Library Facebook page. Page 2, Board of Health meeting. So these are the upcoming meetings. This would be a calendar event. Board of Health meeting. The Board of Health will meet on Thursday, that's tomorrow, March 6th at 3:30 p.m. in the Town Hall. The Bernardston Efficiency and Regionalization Advisory Subcommittee meeting will be meeting on Thursday, that's tomorrow, March 6th at 6 p.m. in the Town Hall. And that's the committee that's entertaining ideas joining the two towns.
Not joint.
Yeah, anything we can share.
Yeah. Similar to how we doing it with the police now, exploring other opportunities there, and we have a grant that's helping us fund the program. Bernardston-Leiden Police Advisory, Police Services Advisory Committee, so-called PSAC, meeting is on Tuesday, March 11th at 11 a.m. in the Town Hall.
You skipped over the
Skip the
joint.
finance.
Oh, shame on me. The Joint Finance Committee and Select Board meeting. Why did they get top billing? The Joint Finance Committee and Select Board meeting is scheduled for Monday, March 10th at 6:30 p.m. in Town Hall, and we're going over the highway budget and the transfer budget.
Transfer station and starting the select board submissions.
So if you're interested, come on down, listen in to see how that goes. You get a terrific understanding of how the Finance Committee works through the budget process. Next up, so I'm back on schedule here, Recreation Commission Spring Craft Fair. The Recreation Commission Spring Craft Fair is scheduled for Saturday, March 29th, 2025 at Bernardston Elementary School from 9 to 3. Any interested vendors may contact the Recreation Commission Chair, Jennifer Stennis, at jstennis, STENNES, at townofbernardston.org. And she will send them a link to register and pay. The cost to rent a space is $30 for a 10 by 10 space.
And all this information is on the Recreation Commission's webpage,
Okay, which is linked to the
town website.
Town of Bernardston website. Citizen petitions submissions for the annual town meeting warrant. The deadline, listen up, folks,
Okay,
the
this-
deadline for submission of warrant articles for the
17 April.
17.
Just let you know.
Ah,
Typo in there. Yeah.
typo. Good, thank you for correcting me.
Sorry about
The deadline for submission of warrant articles for the annual town meeting is April 17th, 2025. Citizens' petitions may be hand-delivered to the town clerk or select board at Town Hall. Please do not drop your submissions in the drop box outside of the building. Information is available on the town website on how to make citizens' petitions or contact the town clerk or the select board offices. It is very important that you do it right, or we can't include it as a warrant item. Just last annual meeting, we had someone who didn't follow the rules.
Right.
And we had to pass over that.
So we created a whole page on this process.
Excellent.
The forms are on there. There's a guide that, Chris and I did this together.
Good.
And so,
Critical that you do it right.
right.
Yes.
Citizens' concerns?
I do want to speak here, if
Go.
you don't mind.
Please.
I was asked to bring this to the attention of the town and to preface this with, while they appreciate all of the hard work that the highway department does in clearing the sidewalks, something a lot of towns don't do, that you're responsible for your own sidewalk. One pass, especially with the current ice, didn't seem to be enough. We had a couple slips and falls and things like that. The only thing I would ask is maybe after the town has gone through, that homeowners have a sidewalk in front of their house to do something. I don't think we should mandate it, but to, be cognizant of the fact that people walk, and it got pretty icy. So
It did.
Yeah.
It's a fair
So I
comment.
just wanted to-
I'm a walker. I walk my
Yeah.
dog around town, particularly the center area of town, and it was a challenge.
Yeah,
I was out
absolutely.
on the street instead of on the sidewalks.
But they certainly wanted to make sure they
Yep.
appreciate
I
that
think
the
if you-
highway
if you-
department does that.
I think with a close reading of your insurance policy, you will find that it is the homeowner's responsibility to clear ice and snow from their sidewalks.
Yeah.
It's not just a town thing.
We have a town bylaw that talks about
They
removing
absolutely.
snow.
Yep.
And I think people just overlook it. And
Well, it just
not,
was a huge
yeah,
event.
not nefariously, but they overlook it because the town does the service of
So-
driving down through there. So,
Folks out there, make sure that, and a little salt, a little sand goes a long way.
yep.
Citizens' concerns other than that? Hearing none. We have a couple of appointments. The first one was to be Representative Natalie Blais. She was supposed to be here this evening, but unfortunately she was called away to Boston earlier this afternoon, and we will reschedule her visit at a later date and
Yes.
give people plenty of time. We got a lot to talk about with her, so that would be an important meeting. We'll make sure she gets the time that she needs. New business. Internship proposal and quote from the Greenfield High School. On October 16th, 2024, this select board approved the Highway Department's request to participate in a student internship reimbursement program, so-called Need an Extra Set of Hands, funded by the Mass DOT, and that's where the money's coming from to pay these kids. The internship proposal to New England's Laborers Trust Fund has been prepared and reads as follows. Thank you very much for the opportunity to participate in the Massachusetts Pre-Apprenticeship and Vocational School Training Program. We hope it will be mutually beneficial for the training program and the town of Bernardston, and equally so these kids. Our internship proposal and quote for Bryce Hammond and Jerry Venn is as follows. The start date is April 1st, 2025. The end date is either, whichever comes first, 145 hours of their time, or May 31st, 2025. The description of the work: under the supervision of the Highway Department Superintendent of Operations and Facility Management, a variety of tasks will be performed such as pothole patching, sidewalk and road repairs, general maintenance of facilities and parks, and solid waste and recycling support services. The rate of pay is $16.50 an hour per student. The total amount that they could reach would be $2,400 per student, or a total of $4,800. Again, funded by the DOT, Mass DOT. I would entertain a motion to approve the proposal as written and have the town administrator forward the proposal to Mr. Jeff Cathcart for further processing.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
It's a program we participated in the past and it
And
was
it
very
was
successful.
Very
Yep,
successful.
Very successful.
They did a great job. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. This is the 2025 mileage rate. I would entertain a motion to accept the Internal Revenue Service standard mileage rate for 2025 to be set at 70 cents per mile for business miles driven. The rate applies to electric and hybrid electric vehicles as well as gasoline and diesel powered vehicles.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
I would tell you that it doesn't happen frequently, but occasionally the IRS will change their mileage rating, and if so, we would react accordingly to stay in step with them. Permanent, flexible, remote, and hybrid meeting. There's a letter from Senator
No, letter-
Comerford.
We prepared a letter
Yes,
to them.
we
Yes.
understand. But we also got a letter from them asking us to voice our concerns,
Oh.
enthusiastic support. So we are sending a letter, we're about to send a letter to Senator Comerford and Representative Blais. And the Town of Bernardston Select Board has written a letter to Senator Comerford and Representative Blais thanking the legislature for extensions to allow municipality to the ability to host remote, hybrid, and in-person public meetings. So on the occasion that someone couldn't come or inclement weather or just to facilitate a large meeting, we would have it done electronically. The current extension is set to expire on March 31st, 2025. We are asking in this letter to Senator Comfort and Representative Blais for their support to make these provisions permanent. So this was something that was put in with COVID?
I believe so.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So, and
Actually,
it's,
hybrid meetings were put in before.
oh, okay. That came from Jane Dutcher in the peanut gallery out there.
Yeah, sorry.
That's good. I would entertain a motion to sign the letter requesting permanent, flexible, remote, and hybrid public meeting options.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes,
I want to add my unsolicited comment.
go for it.
If the extension is not made by March 31st, we will revert to what we voted prior to COVID, or maybe it was at the very beginning of COVID, which is the chairman needs to be present, the quorum needs to be present, but any other members can participate by phone or whatever,
Okay.
Okay.
remotely. And I remember that the town did accept that, and they accepted it for all committees. I don't know if we need to look up the exact vote so that we have it handy if this doesn't get extended
I could do
by
that.
March 31st. But that's what would happen. We
Okay.
wouldn't be totally without the facility of doing that, but it would.
So a meeting
It
that's,
wouldn't be good for the finance committee, I can
No.
tell you.
it would,
Do you know how long ago, James, that, like, could you approximately?
I was on the board when it happened.
You've been on the board for a long
Yeah, I
time.
know
And it
Before
was near-
COVID?
Yeah.
Like
I wanna say
5
it
or
was a-
6 years ago,
Yeah, it was
right?
Okay.
A year or two before COVID.
Yeah, it was before.
So a
COVID was what,
meeting-
2020?
Well, I was thinking,
So it's probably
the
18 or
beginning
19.
of when you started serving, would that be 5 years ago?
Okay, I'll find it. Okay.
More?
8.
8? 8.
okay.
So as many as 8.
So,
I don't know if we made it a bylaw. I can't remember if we made it a bylaw.
No, it's not.
You had to accept, the state
Wording.
definition of hybrid, I think is what it was.
I'll dig into
so
it.
what we're operating under now is that a meeting can be Zoomed and participants can still vote, as in, as long as you have a quorum?
Well.
I'll pull all that,
currently,
too.
The quorum can be met by somebody being on Zoom or on the telephone.
Okay. And if a vote is called for, can that still be?
Right, you have to
Can
do,
the
if
Zoomer?
anybody is hybrid, then you have to do a voice.
A roll call
vote.
Okay.
The big change would be that the quorum and the chairman need to be present in the room.
Okay.
Other members can be hybrid. And of course, the public can always be hybrid.
Okay.
I'll pull it all out.
Does that
I'll figure it
affect the posting of a meeting if you fully intend it to be a Zoom?
Yes.
So you have to put
Because
that
you
word?
have to put the link to be able
Got it.
to zoom in.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
out. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vote that still.
Okay.
But if a member were participating by phone, that doesn't have to be in the voice.
It does. The phone number, if you wanted to call in, the phone number would have to be in there too.
Ooh,
I
okay.
know what you mean, like you don't have to have the phone number, if it's just a conference call, like, is that what you're talking about?
No.
Oh,
I'm talking about one
I know what
member
you're talking- yeah.
gets sick that day and they call in.
Right,
That doesn't have to.
okay,
be-
gotcha. All right,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. BES Bernardston Elementary School usage form. I would entertain a motion to approve the Bernardston Elementary School building use application submitted by Pack 3 Cub Scouts to host a Pinewood Derby event on Saturday, April 5th, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Good event.
Appointment of a COA, Council on Aging, van driver. I would entertain a motion to appoint Wendy Wilson as the primary COA van driver, a regular reduced hourly employee at $18.28 an hour.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are into old business. You guys are up. I would introduce Tom Newton and Matt Aversa to talk about the pollinator habitat plan at the pond next to the library. Matt and Tom are here to provide an update on the plan to beautify the pond area behind Cushman Library. Okay, guys. Good evening.
good evening.
So we met with members of the library trustees and Tom Sullivan, who is the, I guess, would say project director, kind of.
Yeah.
He was the one that came out and talked to us, had, gone over what we thought we might like over there. And we had a very good meeting. We talked to the trustees and said, what's your plan? What would you like to see happen over there? What would you like to see as far as usage? So we talked to Tom. Tom came up with, you want to give them their,
Sure.
the,
Well, let's start with a map.
yeah,
Yeah.
just so you can see what kind of the plan that
Printed a
Tom
couple.
Sullivan came up with as far as,
Can I make a copy of these? Go ahead, Matt.
he came up with divided it into zones, because I don't think we'll be able to do the whole thing all at once. So what we thought, talking to the trustees, was that the area that's on there that's marked A1, which is kind of up near where the fence is on the library side with that wrought iron fence,
Yep.
was made the most sense because it's closest to the street, would kind of provide a really nice area for people going by, are gonna see that area. The trustees already plant in front of that, so they'd have a nice area there. It's not too hilly, so it would not be too hard to plant. And he put down there some plants that would work in that area. He knew all about the soil, they talked about that, he had gone through that. So we came up with sort of a plan. So that area would be the first part that we would do in the original plan. Other section would be done as we go along and as funds become available. We talked to Megan, and I can't pronounce Megan's last name, but she's the one that is in charge of the grant. So she had some, Tom
She's
has
the grant
yeah.
administrator and public outreach coordinator for the Franklin Conservation District.
And she sent us back some things that we need to do to send them for the grant, so Tom can address that.
Okay, so it says, in what she's stating is, she's glad that we're meeting with the board, et cetera, et cetera. Then she says, in a location and specific site of the native plants garden, she said, I saw several spots within the pond landscape that are being considered. So she's stating that she'd like names and email addresses and phone numbers of volunteers and a maintenance team members who agree to prepare the space for planting. Then we would install native plants with Tom Sullivan's guidance, maintain the space through weeding, watering, and add any needed pruning for a minimum of 5 years. Then an attached letter from the party who has the authority over that space, being the town select board, in this case, conveying their approval of the native plants project to happen. Then she wants an attached letter from the parties who maintain the landscape surrounding the project that includes a statement of agreement not to treat the area with herbicide or pesticides. So that would be a letter from the board or the administrator, whichever, stating that we wouldn't put any herbicides on. So that's where that would be from her.
That's what she wants from us.
Yeah.
So we were talking, and Tom and I have kind of gone through this. We started a list of volunteers. Tom has some folks that he's aware of. We also thought of working maybe with the tech school with their landscaping program. And what I said is, maybe we could say to them, if you have, a group of kids that maybe want to get extra credit for the summer as part of their project, they could work with their instructor and get credit for that. So, we're not there yet to ask them, but before the semester ends, I would be, once we get things kind of more in place. But we could ask them to do that. We will have our own group of folks that will be working on that too, to kind of do that.
And, I don't know where the camera is, but anybody that wants to volunteer,
Yep.
please contact us.
You too?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yep.
This is gonna be,
And how
going
do
right
they do
into
that? How would they contact you?
either by,
Email.
Email? Can
Yeah.
you say what your email is? Just because you're talking to people on TV?
Yep.
Give them your information.
Do you want to start, Tom?
my email is Papa Tango, it's all lowercase. Yeah, PAPATANGO 604 at gmail.com, or contact me by phone 413-522-5758. We'd appreciate any volunteers that'd like to come forward. It'll be something for those that are more muscular than others. But we're also looking to see how much latitude we would have as far as if we wanted to trim any of the trees ourselves. Or do we have to go through have a tree warden or such to do this? We think there's some of the trees on the other side we'd like to trim up about maybe 10 feet. And then we're also wondering if any heavy equipment is going to be required. We won't know this until we get the direction from the project manager, Tom Sullivan. But we're thinking that on this end, what looks like cattails, I did a little research and it's not always cattails. And I believe it was Savannah Kitchen was her name.
She's
Right.
the conservation agent.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. She noted to me that she didn't think that those were cattails, but they could be, without actually inspecting them now, she said that they could be yellow flag iris, a sweet flag, or Pragamites, whichever that is. And we also talked to the Conservation Commission and the local conservation group. The pond is what's called non-jurisdictional. So evidently to me that we don't need any permits from them to do what we need to do. So if in fact we do need to have some removal of the whatever it is, sweet flag or at that end, would the town lend us a backhoe for a few hours to get rid of that.
I'm sure we could make that happen.
Yeah, I work with Brand Minor.
You know, we don't want to burden the town with anything extra, but if that's required, then we're going to need that.
And if
you
you're
know.
talking of raising up some of the trees, is that what you're talking about when you
No,
talk
no,
about
just the
trimming up to 10 feet?
cattails or whatever those are that are down
Scrape them
there.
out?
Yeah, just to get them to
I
clean
think
out.
they'd be delighted because they fight that battle every
Yes.
year.
Yeah, because
They have a,
But you also talked about trimming some of the trees, right?
on the opposite side, you got like a bench over there. See, the ultimate plan is you have a bench over there, and then when the leaves come out, you can't hardly see the water.
So it's
Right.
more of the brushy type stuff that's been there, it's nothing that Snow and Sons has done more recently.
No, no.
I would still run that by the tree warden.
I would absolutely encourage you.
You have to by
Yeah.
bylaw.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
you
he'll
can
work
put
with
it
you.
out.
He's great.
Yeah, I mean, you
Not
know,
cutting down any trees,
Yep.
just trimming,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah,
You just coordinate with them.
Right.
'cause this is, you know, it's gonna be a project that,
Can take a few years.
eventually,
Yeah, it's gonna be over time.
yeah.
It's gonna be
I
over
mean, there's
time.
gonna be well, get my bearings straight here. You know, eventually along Library Street, we want to clean that area.
Yes.
And Tom Sullivan has already come up with ideas, as you see on there, of various plantings that we could put in there that, once
We'll
the
hold the
bushes
soil.
and the whatever else is growing in there, once he puts various sage grass and so forth that he has recommended, you know, we won't have this other stuff constantly having to take care of.
His idea was to put down, it's like a, I don't know, what did he call that, like paper? That-
Yeah.
Like
That they put,
landscape fabric.
yeah, and they
Some kind of-
tack it down and then they just make cuts to put the plants in. So
Right.
that, and he said that would last for like several years to, you know, keep the weeds and
And then
everything
we
down.
would
So
mulch it.
it would eventually be low maintenance for the guys that come in and do the maintenance, which was what we had talked about originally, way back. You know, we had made clear that we wanted to make low maintenance for the guys that have to maintain that area.
So does the conservation district provide the plants that
Yes.
are gonna be in this? So we
That's
don't
for the
need to
grant.
buy
Yes.
anything ahead of time?
Right.
or
What
anything
about the
like that?
mulch and all the mulch too?
I don't know about the mulch, I think that's, we
We
would,
get
but he
lots
was
of
talking.
mulch at the
Well, that's what he was
transfer
saying,
station.
exactly,
Yeah,
that's what he
that's
was
Too much
saying.
mulch.
I
Yeah,
was thinking snow and sun mulch.
Oh, that's different mulch.
That's
Yeah.
different mulch, okay.
but I mean, those things would be worked out, but we were talking about like sections at a time, so that it's not all done at once. But the idea was, when we talked to the folks at the library, you know, there's gonna be a walking path through there, you know, and an access from the parking lot behind the senior center, so that folks can go down there from the, you know, from the parking lot for concerts and things
Beautiful
like
place.
that.
It's,
It will be fantastic. I mean, if you can see, it's a little hard to imagine what that will look like, but, I mean, when we talked about it, the library folks were really excited about it. Because, you know, we were talking about, they could have weddings down there with that backdrop where we've started on that, you know, original plan with that A1 section. You know, it's a beautiful backdrop. And that part is not as hilly and everything.
Great.
So we are making progress.
Yeah.
Finally,
Good.
finally.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think another time if we meet with you folks, that we would hopefully would have either Tom Sullivan or Megan Siadudinsky.
easy for you to say.
Sujudinsky.
We apologize to Megan.
Yes, we do. Here to, you know,
So Karen can help with the letters, I assume. right, that we
Absolutely.
have
I was hoping to get a
provide
copy of what you're reading from that says what the town needs to do for the grant, that piece of paper, if I could get a copy
Sure.
of that.
Why don't
that'd
you
be
give that,
great.
because we have the original email, so we'll give
that's my own
Oh.
original. Yeah, give it to her. She-
Yep, I can send you from mine, because I have the email as well.
Yeah.
I would caution
You can have
that
this
your,
sheet.
your comments that
I'll
you
send it
want
to Tom.
people with a little strength to help with the project.
Yeah.
You'll take all comers.
Oh,
It's
yes.
just expect that some of it's some heavy duty.
Yeah, I mean,
Without the backhoe, that's gonna be a
Yeah.
problem.
but you know, when Tom explained, you know, we're gonna lay out, he called it some kind of a rough cardboard or
Yeah.
some kind of a board.
He had a
Other
name
than
for it.
our usual, you know, weed barrier, it's a little heavier duty, pinning that down. Now, it probably won't take anyone with a lot of muscular
That stuff is
to
heavy.
tin that down. But then again, we're going to be putting in bark mulch. Well, there's a good guys that are going to shovel it.
I was gonna just add one thing, so when you do require any help, you know, like from the highway department, like we discussed, just come see me.
Absolutely.
Because we do work orders for that kind of
Yes.
stuff, and I'll assist you and I'll help
Yeah.
them prepare
That'd
that
be great.
and
Good.
and coordinate, do the
Yeah.
coordination with Brian.
Absolutely.
All good.
And the more notice you can give to
I know
them,
that's down the
better.
road, but
Yes.
just anything you want from the town, highway department will do it in the way of a work order.
Great. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. It's
Fantastic.
going to benefit the whole town, I think.
Yeah,
Can I have one of those maps back?
Oh, of course. We're gonna leave the
I
other
need
one.
one for the
Thank you.
minute, yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Please.
There's a long list of plants here.
Yep.
Are you selecting out of that list, or are you
Yes.
gonna?
Those are ones based on what Tom Sullivan, you know, he had kind of gone through and he knew, we have tons of emails gone back and
Right.
forth. And, you know, he talked about the soil and everything and figured out which ones would be best for that particular area, for each area, and then said, you know, we'll talk about whatever.
So you guys will choose
Right,
5 or 10
right.
or whatever.
I've made some recommendations to him,
Yeah.
you know, what I'd like to see, but, you know, it's all up to him.
Thank you.
You know, right by
It's his
the,
money.
by the
Yeah.
front, you know, we'd like to see maybe a dogwood
Dogwood
or
or something
redbud
like
or
that.
something.
Always
like
beautiful,
that.
yes.
So that it would not only captivate people coming by this way, but anybody going to the senior center or just being over there for whatever reason could look at the pond, nice day, and see it reflecting in the water.
So I was saying too, you know, we get so many people for the scarecrow in the park. You know, what a nice thing to be able to have that for the, you know, for that.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
That's nice.
If we haven't said it before, we want to thank you both for
Yeah, absolutely.
keeping at this. This
Yeah.
is persistence paying off here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We
Thank you,
appreciate it.
We
The
want
town
to see it
appreciates
happen.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be wonderful.
All right.
Anything
I've always
else?
been a big fan of those tall grasses too. I love.
That's the way.
I like to cut them down. I'm not a big fan of tall grasses.
Well, thank you for your time.
All righty.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else, Jane?
Well, they can come and practice on my yard.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris, you have anything for us?
Not tonight,
Not
but I
tonight.
will the next meeting.
All right. So we had the caucus last night. You want to just give us a quickie on that?
Sure.
Chris, come on up though, so you
Yes,
can pick you
please.
up on the mic.
So we had 33 people
That's
come
not-
for the caucus.
Is that a high water mark forever?
I think so.
It was a record-setting crowd.
We were a little wondering if we were going to make it, so the planning board and the ag commission were meeting up here at the town hall, and we called them and asked if they could come down. And in the meantime, when they got down there at about the same time, 8 other people walked through the door
See?
at 7 o'clock when it was supposed to start.
Good night, Matt.
Anyways, we ended up with enough people,
Great.
which was great. We had one position that did not have a nominee. However, a person came in today and took out nomination papers for that position, which is the Powers Institute trustee position that was still open.
So we have a candidate for every single position if this person can get the signatures.
Correct. And I told him today, I called him up and I said, I should have told him when he was here getting the nomination paper, go to the senior center to get those 20 signatures that he needs. So
Yeah.
he's planning on doing that tomorrow.
Good.
So, yeah, so otherwise,
So democracy in action, it's working.
it is. And a lot of people don't understand how that works with a caucus, but it is the easiest way to get on the ballot without having to run around and get signatures on a nomination
And
paper.
our town election is May
May 5th.
5th.
Cinco
So
de Mayo Day.
that's right.
Margaritas and tacos will be. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Don't.
All good.
Yep. So that is that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay?
Great. Something to
Thank
look
you.
forward to.
Before she leaves, can I ask, what is the function of the Powers Institute trustees?
Well,
What do they do?
Nothing.
From the peanut gallery, not a great deal. It is a committee that is challenged with what their role should be. If you want to get involved or sit in on one of their meetings, by all means, contact.
I have been,
Okay.
and years past.
Yep. So you
I'm
understand?
wondering if it's been updated other than
No.
our annual banquet.
No.
Well, actually, the powers, the trustees,
There's three
and the
different-
Cushman, there's 4 trustees. No, there's 12 trustees.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah, 12 trustees for Powers Institute, and there's 12 trustees for Cushman Library. The president and the vice president, if I remember correctly, from both organizations are supposed to be in charge of Cushman Hall, which is no longer, but they're supposed to be in charge of the park. So,
I thought there was a Cushman Park Committee.
No,
That's how it's
they get their
formed.
members.
Yeah, that's how they get their
but
money.
that's how they get it, is those 2 entities.
All right.
So anyway, so that's how that's supposed to work. And the Cushman trustees are actually supposed to be in charge of the building and,
So the bylaws for these committees do they exist? Because
No.
often if you read the bylaws, you'll find out what they're supposed to.
There was a DCR publication from 2009 that specifically states what the Powers Institute trustees do.
Good.
And it was just as we talked in the beginning of this evening. I was saying about the Powers Institute, the library, and the fire station comprise of the historical district. And the Powers Institute oversees that. That's what I read.
The Powers Institute.
Trustees.
Trustees. Okay.
And the museum is the
Historical Society,
Historical Society.
which is separate
Which
from
is,
the,
that's
Yeah,
like
right.
a club, anybody can join there.
But there's always a lot of confusion with the Powers Institute, the Historical Society, and the
If I
Historical
were to
Commission.
go, if I were to go to townofbernston.org, I could see the list of people that are on these different groups.
Yes,
Okay.
it's under the town directory.
Good.
So who has jurisdiction over the park?
The Cushman Library Committee,
No,
Cushman,
Cushman.
The park?
The
Cushman
park.
Park Committee.
Cushman Park Committee.
which
And-
is comprised of the
Powers Institute.
Powers Institute and Cushman trustees, those 2 trustees,
The president
the
and vice
president and vice
president
president
of
of
those
each.
trustees.
Correct.
I think that there's a group that's trying to make some revisions to the park.
Yeah, Donna and Ingrid have been in touch with, who is it, Justin from the Cushman
Yeah, those
Trust.
women.
They're
Oh,
all
Justin
working together
Lawrence.
on the shuffleboard and working on all that
So
stuff.
that they're working through the trustees.
Yeah, they
working
actually
through the
had a
town.
meeting,
Right.
these 2 bodies, the Cushman Park Committee, had a meeting about that very thing,
Thank
not
you.
too long ago. So,
Thank you.
yep.
Good. Good question.
Mhm.
Anything else? Go ahead.
I do have something.
Why not?
Let's have a round
Your
table.
29-minute meeting record is safe.
No, I'll make this fast.
No, it's too late now. Take your time.
I'm on another committee.
Surprise, surprise.
I'm on part of the COG Municipal Legislation Advisory Group. The COG has purchased software to be able to track all the legislation that's being submitted. This is the beginning of a 2-year session of the state legislature.
Mhm.
So any bills that have been submitted in the past have to all be resubmitted. So the COG had a meeting of select boards and finance committees were invited to a meeting 2 months ago, maybe more than that. And at that meeting, we were asked to prioritize our concerns.
Is this the 5th Wednesday meeting?
It became the 5th Wednesday
Okay.
meeting.
Good. Yeah.
Okay? So the COG has, from everybody's votes at that meeting, they prioritized what the COG members' concerns were. And they picked the top 3. But there are others that have been concerns in the past or that have come up since that meeting that should be concerns, like extending the
meeting.
the open
Zoom
meeting,
Yeah.
and the open meeting law is another big concern. So there is a site, and I'll get this information to Karen, because I would like to have it put on our website so that anyone can go to this site and read all this stuff. And it will be updated constantly as bills change or as new ones come in. You know, somebody submits the bill and then other people co-sponsor it. I don't want to give a social studies lesson here, but
Used to call it civics.
well, civics, whatever. And so anybody can go onto the site and look at it and read this stuff, and it's real easy to navigate. If you go on to the COG site and then onto this sub-site, then you get a screen that tells you all the legislation that they're following, or potential legislation that they're following. And like, let's take open meeting law, for example. You click on open meeting law and it gives you some subheadings there so that you can go in and look at that. I'm trying to remember what, I didn't write down the categories, too bad. There's one on bridges, roads and culverts. You click on that and then bridges, each thing comes up separately, or as new categories that fit under that heading come onto the legislative schedule. They'll be there. They'll tell you when there's going to be hearings, when you should contact your legislators with your comments. We may even have suggested talking points to use when you contact your legislators. So we're hoping that we can get a lot more participation from voters, from everybody going forward. I mean, Chapter 90 money is on there. Chapter 70 money is, Chapter 90 is highway money, Chapter 70 is the schools. So lots. And then there'll probably be a sign up for who wants to speak at these hearings, which for the past couple of years are usually hybrid, so you don't have to go to Boston. But then there's the opportunity also to go to Boston and speak directly to the committee that's working on it, because all these bills wind up in committee before they go to the House or the Senate. So I'm looking for people to get excited about being able to keep track of things easier and not have to track it themselves.
Okay.
So I'll get the information to Karen to put on the website.
Thank you very much.
And the next meeting is in a couple weeks. Anybody wants to join in?
This being the 5th Wednesday.
Well, no, this is
Separate.
This is separate.
Separate now? Okay.
And then, well, there's still the 5th Wednesday meeting, but this subcommittee came out of the 5th Wednesday meetings.
Okay. Good. Anything else to come before this? We have your report.
Oh, yes, okay. So I attended last Thursday, I attended the roundtable with Governor Healy, Secretary Tibbet Nuts, and members of the Healy Driscoll administration in Conway. It was a huddle with all the town administrators. And
From
Franklin County, yes. Pretty much Joe Comerford, and she was there, and Natalie was there, okay. So their districts. The topic centered around the increased funding and distribution formula revisions for the Chapter 90, which I kind of chatted with Brian about, but it was a good roundtable.
This Brian, yep.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, and I just wanted you to know that I attended that, and
okay.
It was, she kind of explained in more detail how she came up with her, that plan. And then basically went around the room, and a lot of people just made comments. She asked, what do you need, that kind of thing. And but most of the people just kind of echoed a big thank you, because they're finally they are using the mileage now of how many road miles we have and factoring that in. So it should generate some more money, right?
Yep.
So that was good. I just want to let you know too that, and I think you do know, but I received the MassDOT permit for the driveway for the fire department. Mm-hmm. So we're required to file that at the Registry of Deeds, and I guess we'll be talking down the road about or Brian, will be talking down the road about when that project will start or do that. I did talk to Pete a little bit about it, not that this is my business, but about
Peat shed.
About I don't know, there's a dip in the driveway. I don't know how quick we should get after that is my point. So, but he did mention about, if we think about the fire trucks going in and out, and if that driveway's a little kooky, I don't know. I just wanted to throw it out there that we have the permit, we're ready to go, but it would be, what priority is it? How high of a priority is it? So,
Okay.
and I think that's it.
You're gonna talk about setting the clocks.
Oh, I have one other thing. Jane, the finance chair, and I are going to the Division of Local Services Interactive Financial Forecast Training tomorrow in Palmer. So
Say that again slowly.
The Division of Local Services Interactive Financial.
So the DLS.
Yes, forecast training in Palmer tomorrow from 9:30 to 1. So it's the first of 2 sessions. And it's hands-on interactive training. We've got to bring our laptops. We have access to the DLS gateway, and we're going to learn a lot of great things. So
Good.
that's where we'll be tomorrow.
All right.
And last but not least is this weekend is Spring Forward. So everyone make sure that you set your clocks an hour ahead. I think it's 2 in the morning, Sunday morning, right? Is that?
So we lose an hour of
So you
sleep.
lose an hour.
I'll stay up to do it at 2. How's that?
Yep. So you lose an hour. So
In this
but
digital world, those things flip over on the right.
But I think we're all looking forward to what that means, right? It's going to start getting warmer, and it's very exciting.
The
We have more
Snowmobile
light,
Committee doesn't think that's a success.
The Snowmobile Committee
but
disagrees.
Yes. And you're going to talk about smoke detectors and CO detectors.
that's right. Thank you. This is also
I'm
a
here to
good
serve.
time of year when the clocks go forward or backward is to check all the batteries in your smoke detectors and
CO detector.
CO detectors. It's always a good
Carbon
time.
monoxide.
Carbon monoxide
And
detector.
check the dates on your CO detectors.
Checks
They are
on-
good for 10 years.
All of it.
Just
Yep.
because they chirp at you doesn't mean that.
That's right. That's right.
So that's right.
Well, some of them, it's permanent. As
It's
in you
like
don't get the
10-year
chips
batteries
back.
now, right?
Yeah.
The new stuff, yeah.
So that is all I have. Thank you.
Excellent.
Perfect.
I have
Thank you.
something more.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
No?
this wasn't a department plan. So when I come to you in the next meeting, I'm gonna have a list, and I'll give it to Karen first, of all the people that need to be reappointed for their various positions,
Good.
because they expire at the end of March. And if anybody is interested in volunteering for any open positions, there are several. And
website, yeah.
I'll try to get a list over the weekend compiled of all those vacancies and have it in one place on the website, and I'll work with Karen on getting that whole, just so it's not by department or anything, it's gonna be just one consolidated list.
That's good.
So if anybody is interested in filling any of those volunteer positions on any of the commissions
It's a
and boards.
great way to start getting involved in your town.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely.
How many are you
See
down?
how it works.
I'd like to add that Finance Committee does not expire on March 31st. Our date is October 31st.
31st October, yeah.
And we desperately need, immediately, 2 more members.
Yep. I will make sure they're on the list as well.
Top of the list.
And
What
top
else?
of the list in bold.
Flashing.
Yeah, flashing, it's even better.
How come they're different cycle? Is that just
Moderator.
historically?
Yeah.
We asked that finance be a different cycle because to have the finance committee
You want
change
In March.
at March 31st is
Right,
right in the
budget.
middle of budget
Bad idea,
session.
right.
So we asked that it be
That's
October
fine. Makes sense.
31st, and that would cover any special town meeting we had to have to cover things we didn't do at annual meeting.
Good. Now, anything else?
Yeah.
The Newton, yes, sir.
Would the select board think that they would benefit by selling the bark mulch at the town transfer station?
As opposed to giving it away? We can't give it away fast enough. The pile is so big,
Huge.
they had to say, time out, no more, don't add more.
Huge,
Yeah,
it's huge.
so it's free for town members.
Town members, but what about if even town members, $5 for a truckload? $10 out of towners?
Then we'd have to have the ability
You go
to,
there every summer, and that pile is monstrous.
we'd have to have the ability to load it for them.
Yeah.
Huh?
We'd have to have the ability to load it if we started charging a fee.
People, I see people over there shoveling their trucks.
And that's
Oh, yeah.
fine if they want to do that, but I think if we sold it, people would expect it to be loaded into their vehicle.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
If I'm paying for it, I want it put in my vehicle, or I'll go somewhere else and pay for
I
it.
want it brought to my house.
Yeah. And spread.
If
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah. We charge enough in this town for all the things, and if it was a meaningful dollar,
If it
then
was
it would
scarce,
probably
I
be too
think
much.
you'd be on, if it was scarce, you'd be onto something, like if that pile
Yeah.
is always small, like you'd be onto something, but there's so much of it now that,
Yeah.
please take it.
The tree warden has engaged a couple of firms to, particularly the electric company, and so they oversupplied
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
mulch,
Yeah.
because they took a bunch of trees down on Route 5 and to save the wiring and that kind of stuff. And that's been a successful program. It just, the offset to that is now we got too much mulch, so.
Well, spring is coming, that pile will go down.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's hoping. If you go to the dump, I see it there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Transfer
But
station.
I can't load
No,
the mulch.
yeah.
I don't have a truck, and if I did, I wouldn't have the muscle to do it.
Do you think the town should put stickers on vehicles, residents of town that go to the dump?
No. I used to carry the orange card in my wallet just in case Bob Smith ever asked me for it, but
Well, the reason I say it, ask that, because we see out-of-town vehicles. Just because they have a Bernardston bag doesn't mean
no,
you're paying for the trash as well as I am.
you bet.
So does the Bernardston bag cover the cost of somebody's?
Not a chance, no.
So therefore,
So you could just go to Marshall's and buy the bag, whether you're from New York or from Bernardston,
right.
and you can go to yeah.
But if you don't have a sticker on your car, you shouldn't be doing it.
And my understanding is out-of-town
Leiden.
people are supposed to buy a permit.
Yes, only the town of Leiden.
Only line.
Only Blyden, so
Yeah.
nobody else is supposed to actually be
That's
dumping their
correct.
trash.
Right.
And
Right.
I've
Supposed to
Been
and doing
witness
are two
when-
different things.
Bob Smith has asked someone, because he didn't recognize, oh, I'm new to town, I bought the house, whatever, and
Yeah.
yeah. So he does challenge people. Not all the time, mostly he knows everybody. He knows
Right,
the frequent
right.
flyers, the people that come in every week.
Yeah.
But, yeah. You have a sense that it's being abused.
I do.
Yeah.
I see Vermont cars in there quite regularly. I see people go in there with white bags and throw them in the rubbish without a problem being in a green bag.
Wow.
You guys are losing money. Just thought I'd bring it to your attention.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now anything else?
And all other
Don't ask
towns
that
have.
question.
All
Yeah.
other towns have.
We're here to serve. We got to get input. That's what the
true.
important
Of course.
Right.
meetings.
That's a good point.
Hearing none, I would ask for a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.